Hello and welcome back to KXAN Plus. I am your host, Esmeralda Zamora, and this is Sunday afternoon's Tommy's travel forecast with meteorologist Tommy House. Tommy, you've been tracking storms all day. How are you doing now?
I'm good. We just had a powerful line of storms move through the Austin area, but we're drying out, and our temperatures went from the 90s to the 70s in the past hour.
Feels
Huge blessing.
great.
Absolutely. It feels amazing outside. I can't say the same for many people, especially way out in the Southwest, like Phoenix, where it's 110 degrees. But hey, we had some good storms here and some beneficial rain.
Yeah, and a couple winds coming with those storms. It felt really nice
Gusty.
outside when it started raining and then it kind of got a little sticky. But
Yeah.
we're here to talk about what the rest of this week looks like for all of our travelers out there or anyone just looking to see what the weather looks like around the world. What do you have for us today?
So the entire weather forecast across the next 7 days depends on the high pressure and its location. We have a really strong high pressure way out to the southwest where we're seeing temperatures at this time well over the century mark for portions of Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, and Nevada. 110 in Phoenix is brutal. And 72 in Austin, that's because of the storms, of course, but across the country, you have a wide variety of 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's cooler here in central Texas at this hour compared to Minnesota and other places such as Montana. So we're really dealing with a nice little cooler change of temperatures, even in the past 2 hours. Again, from the thunderstorms that moved through, but big picture, a lot of people are having widespread heat alerts, and that's going to stick around for several days, Esme.
And Tommy, any severe threats that we can expect throughout the week today? I mean, this week?
Yeah, and that's a great question. Of course, northern Texas had some severe weather. That's from that same line that moved through earlier today. First, I want to start with the high pressure. Then we'll get to the specific storm threats here because it kind of all correlates and connects to each other. This high pressure and the exact location of it will determine who gets thunderstorms versus who doesn't. So at the upper levels, we see this clockwise flow moving around the high. So storms will get steered away from the four corners, and this includes some potential severe weather for Kansas farther up north. Throughout the rest of the work week, we'll see this high move a little bit to the east. That means we'll see some dry conditions here locally, but some severe weather farther up north into the Dakotas and the Midwest and even Central Plains. And then our high pressure moves a little bit to the west. That allows for some storms to return here locally by Thursday, Friday into the following weekend. Looking at the temperature anomalies, where the high pressure is where we're seeing the warmer than normal trends. That means 80s, 90s, and triple digits. But through the next few days, we'll see that high pressure move a little bit to the west, and then that will allow for some more unsettled weather to return.
Wow, so there's a lot going on this week.
There's a lot going on this week.
If you're traveling in particular, you want to be aware of all of this happening, be weather aware. I know a lot of people are wondering here locally in Central Texas what we can expect for the rest of today. Do you think you can show us that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me zoom on in then and try to see if I can get in and show you the current conditions here. Of course, there's a lot of unsettled weather. Louisiana, western Texas. This was the line of storms that actually just moved through, trying to draw that there. And it's going to work its way closer to the Gulf Coast in the coming few hours. But we saw some heavy rain, some strong winds. Actually, around 3 p.m., we had reports of thousands of power outages by Austin Energy in our area. And we're not the only ones that are dealing with some severe weather at this time. Of course, eastern Texas, Louisiana, moving up to Missouri, they have some severe thunderstorms. But actually, the biggest area that meteorologists are watching for potential for severe weather is Montana. They have a level 3 out of 5 for severe weather and multiple severe thunderstorm warnings currently issued in that state.
Tommy, if I'm not mistaken, in your article that you recently published, there is some late season snow around the country.
Yeah, there is some late season snow. That's actually for next weekend. So we're kind of getting, all different seasons happening at once. You have, of course, the summer heat way down in the southwest. You have our extreme heat warnings that are currently in effect. That is for Arizona, New Mexico. That expires tonight, and then it starts again tomorrow. It expires Monday night, and we'll see that for multiple days on end. While that's happening, we have severe thunderstorm watches way up toward Montana, where they have that level 3 out of 5, as I mentioned, and then a tremendous amount of flood warnings for our rivers and creeks for Texas and Louisiana. Try to see if I can pull up. It's hard with the graphics here, Esme, but if I was trying to pull up and show you some of the potential for some snow later on this week, let's see if I can load this into our software systems real quick. Yeah, so let's actually walk you through the next few days here. Let's pull this up and then we can get going.
Some snow in June.
Some snow in June. Isn't that crazy to think about? I mean, that's just unheard of. I mean, it is. It happens sometimes, but overall, it's something that's not out of the ordinary. So let's actually fast forward through the show here because we're mixing around and jumping around in different parts of the forecast. So yeah, we have some severe weather. This is going to be Monday. Then we'll get to the snow. Into Tuesday, you see that there's still the high pressure way out west that's going to kind of steer the storms around our area. By Wednesday into the Midwest, Thursday the Northeast, and then you'll see Friday into Saturday, you see a little bit of Washington there, some of the pinks, that represents the possibility for some mixing. And then at the higher elevations, this is thousands of feet up toward Idaho, Montana, way up north of, way up above Billings to the western portions of Montana, Wyoming. That's where we're seeing the potential for some snow. But because that's 7 days out, Esme, we'll see some, of course, adjustments. I don't think that it's going to be a locked-in forecast for now, but maybe some ski lovers will enjoy the forecast next Saturday and Sunday.
So throughout this week here in Texas, what would be the hottest day that we have?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, every single day is going to be pretty similar, between 94 and 96 degrees. We'll see the exception, maybe a 97 or 98. I don't have any triple digits in my 7-day, but when you factor in the humidity, the heat indices will be well over the century mark. That's the feel-like temperature, so it's going to feel like anywhere from 103 to 105 degrees every single afternoon through the next work week.
I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm sure some people who want to get out in the lake or the rivers are definitely waiting for that heat to get here. Is there anything else you can tell us about the next couple days here in Austin?
Yeah, I mean, locally, pull up the 7-day forecast. You'll see the exact trend that I mentioned where the high pressure is going to move over Texas Tuesday, Wednesday. That means we're going to be dry. Once that high pressure moves to the west, it's going to cool down a little bit to just the mid-90s, 93 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday with that 20% rain chance. Showing you the visual of that once again. The high pressure is going to move a little bit to the east. This is Monday into Tuesday, so that's when we dry out. And then watch the blue H. See how it kind of moves away, moves north, kind of wiggles all around. That's going to open the door for additional showers and storms to close out the rest of the work week. Anywhere between a quarter of an inch to an inch is expected. I'm not anticipating any sort of big significant washouts. In fact, the majority of the rain totals that we're going to see through the next few days actually fell this afternoon. So beyond today, quarter of an inch to an inch, we've had our fair share of showers and storms in the recent few weeks that has helped us combat the drought that we're currently battling. Still, though, level 3 out of 4 for portions of Travis, Hayes, Blanco, level 4 out of 4 for Gillespie. The only place that's currently not in a drought is up toward north of Williamson for Milam and Lee County, but still having that strong drought toward the San Antonio area.
Yeah, we just wrapped up a few showers here for those of you who are joining us on our social medias live right now.
Yeah.
Tommy, how was that rainfall? Was it any beneficial rain that we just saw?
Yeah.
What did we see?
No, that's a great question. Very beneficial rain moved through. This is a radar loop that goes back 6 hours. You can see that it's kept its composure and intensity moving through from Lampasas all the way down to Hayes and Lockhart, Bastrop, and Fayette County. As of this time, we're filming around 4:45. Still some intense storms in Bastrop County. But I mean, everyone had the rain. Pulling up our weather cameras here. Wish we could pick a specific one, but there are some strong showers and storms, and we did see a significant temperature change where those storms moved through. So where it's still a little bit dry, it's in the 90s south of San Antonio, but where that boundary front moved through, it's 70s and even a few upper 60s at this time. How about 68 degrees in Blanco?
Wow.
For context, it was in the 90s earlier this afternoon. So
I'm sure they're living it out there.
It's a breath of fresh air, absolutely.
We've got 72 here in Austin. I think that's perfect weather.
72, and then along those thunderstorms, the occasional gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Austin North winds are calm because we already saw the action, but where we're still waiting for the storms to move through, you'll see some breezy conditions.
Nice, Tommy. Well, I do want to show your article that you just published here. It's called Tommy's Travel Forecast, strong storms, heat dome. What are some things that we can have our viewers read on this article that we didn't get to talk about on our stream?
Yeah, so the highest storm threats are states like Nebraska, Montana, the Dakotas, and then, of course, the high pressure dictates and steers the upper level flow of where those storms are. And, of course, where the high pressure is in place, we have those heat alerts. There's also a blog I wrote where Alaska, the state of Alaska, has issued its first ever heat advisory, which is pretty cool. They're expected to see in Fairbanks mid 80s for Tuesday and Wednesday. So kind of a interesting little fun fact tidbit in there. But yeah, we're recapping what's going on, big picture. With those specific travel forecasts, you can spend hours talking about each location, each state, each temperature. So this is kind of a big picture trend, but hopefully y'all can find some sort of, useful information out there.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tommy, here on this Sunday afternoon after a bit of showers here in Central Texas. I do want to ask you what you think about our new studio. This is your first time in here.
It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. A lot of cool different props and colors and lighting. Excited to do a lot more travel forecasts in here.
Yeah, and we have more to look forward to throughout the next few weeks. Taking a look at what the weather is going to look like across the country with our meteorologist Tommy House every Sunday afternoon. You can also catch us on your TV on KXAN Plus, a new streaming platform that you can download on the Fire TVs, the Roku TVs, and Apple TVs, as well as on our social medias and our website and our app too. Tommy, if anyone wants to keep up with you, how can they find you? Where will you be next?
Yeah, I mean, KXAN.com for the latest forecast. We'll have a show at 9 and 10 tonight. Golf is impacting our 5 o'clock, but we'll have some recordings and things to update viewers about these storms. Of course, KXAN for weather. We have push alerts and notifications there too, tracking these additional rounds of thunderstorms in our area.
Perfect. Thanks so much for joining us, Tommy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.